Hey, Travis here at Books, Builds, and More, and today I'll be doing a review for the Lego Botanical line set, the Succulents. This set is similar to the one I just did, Tiny Plants, a couple of weeks ago, where you have 9 total, and they're individual models, but this set, you can actually connect everything to make it one huge set. So let's take a look at it, shall we? Okay, so also like the Tiny Plant set, this one comes with 3 different instruction books where you build 3 little builds out of each section, and it identifies, of course, which one is which, except for one, this tiny one right here. And when I take this apart, I'm going to explain what they are. But this as a whole, this is the whole thing connected. You know, you can pick it up and display it however you want to. This was pretty interesting set. It's definitely got a lot of wilder designs than the Tiny Plant set, which, you know, look like normal plants compared to these bizarre things. But anyway, yeah, this is basically an overall view of the set as it's connected. You know, you have these connectors. I need to try to figure out how to do this without just one hand. Maybe later. Anyway, yeah, this is basically what it is. But I'm going to take this thing apart and display these one at a time and explain what they are. Oops. Yeah, some of these are kind of loose. Okay, so here is the entire set pulled apart, and as you can see, it comes with these little red connectors, you know, where you can connect the whole thing, but you can also just connect like a couple and set them somewhere. You can, the set is neat in the fact that there are so many display options available, you know, for doing this. You can do them individually, or you can just connect any pair or 3 or 4 or the whole thing, you know, to your liking. But yeah, basically this is what it is. I've got them set out from where the like book 1 is these 3, book 2 is these 3, and then book 3, blah, blah, blah. But I want to go through and identify each one of these. From book 1, we have this one called the Orange Echeveria or something. I don't know. I'm not a botanist. I cannot pronounce that probably. This is a standard aloe plant according to the instruction booklets. So you've got that guy. And then here is something called Hen and Chicks, which I think is a pretty neat one. And this one actually kind of moves. It kind of rocks back and forth. And you can open up the leaves a little bit. So you've got a few of these you've got some display options with as well within the plants themselves. For book 2, this one is the only one that had no name. I looked everywhere. I even looked online. Like I even Googled like what all plants are represented in the succulents, and I cannot for the life of me figure out. This one has no name. But this one also is unique from the rest of them, is that it's just simply a compartment for keeping extra of these little connector pieces, you know, so in case you want to do a little bit more of a display, you know, creativity there. Okay, this next one is called a Lavender Echeveria. So again, you can unfold these. You got to be careful though. I'm trying not to drop these also, because if I do and they go scattering everywhere, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed by that. Okay, and here is a moon cactus. That was a pretty wild build. Okay, that was from book 2, and now from book 3, we have a ball cactus. Pretty neat. I gotta be careful with this one. This one looks like a great plant, and that's what I thought it was at first because it uses the Lego egg pieces. But this is actually called a Burrow's tail plant, which I thought was pretty neat. And the last one we've got back here is called a ruby red echeveria, or just a red echeveria. And this one kind of flimsy as well, but yeah. Now, unlike the tiny plants where you had like small, medium, and large, the bases, basically the pots, I guess, are just these square bases, and they're all the same size. They're all the same size. So you don't have a small, medium, or large in the bases, really, but you do in the plants, sort of. Like in book one, this is the smallest, this orange echeveria, if I'm even saying that right. I feel weird saying that because I don't really know the pronunciation. And the aloe plant and the hen and chicks here are kind of roughly the same size. So you would think that they're going small, medium, and large. Now, book two is a better example of that, where you have the unnameable, the unidentified plant, the lavender echeveria, and the moon cactus. So yeah, that looks like it's about small, medium, and large. And then maybe on book three here, with the ball cactus, the burro's tail, and the red echeveria, yeah, you could probably go that route too. But maybe possibly, like, if this aloe plant didn't look so full, it might, I would think that this would be the more medium compared to that. But that's the second build in the book. Usually the booklets, at least it was for the tiny plants, where you built small, medium, and large in each section. But that's pretty much the succulent set. Now I'm going to go ahead and rank these as I did with the tiny plants, from my least favorite to most favorite. At number 9, the unidentifiable one. Not because it's unidentifiable, but because out of all of these succulents, it just looks the least interesting to me. This is also the one, like I just showed you a minute ago, where it has the secret compartment to store the extra connectors. And if you don't want to connect anything, you just take them out and put them in there. So yeah, that's, I'll just, instead of sticking it back in there, I'll just put it in the little compartment. But yeah, this unidentifiable one, I don't know what it is. I wish I could find out what it is, but it's at number 9. It's my least favorite of all these succulents. At number 8, the orange echeveria, just a tiny step up from that last plant, the unidentifiable one. Yeah, not much more interesting. At number 7, the ball cactus. This one is not much, but at least it has a unique design to it. So it does look unique, which is what I like about it, more than those bottom two. At number 6, the aloe plant. Just monocolored, looks a little bit more fuller, so it's a little, bigger than the bottom 3 there. So, and you get, a little bit of flexibility here, so you can display it a little bit, but still, other than that, just kind of drab. Same thing to be said with number 5, the red or ruby red echeveria, monocolored, but looks a little bit more unique, and you can, again, flexibility, but not by much. At number 4, the hen and chicks. Yeah, now we're getting into the more unusual ones, the more that I think are weird and more appealing visually. So you can definitely display this one a lot more, but I just think there's just a lot of just too much, there are like 3 colors of green in this, which is not bad, but yeah, I like the display option on this one quite a bit. But, and again, you can flex it, it's a little bit flexible, but these are very, very delicate. I'm afraid I'm going to drop them and they're going to go scattering everywhere. At number 3, the lavender echeveria. It's just a very bizarre, very weird, wild look, but I do like it. It's not flexible. You can open these up a little bit, but you got to be careful with it a little bit so you can make it look like it's blooming or something, or half bloom, whatever. But that's at number 3. At number 2, the unusual, what I thought was the grapes. It's the Burrow's tail plant. You would think with all this monocolor, I would have it lower, but I just like the look of it. You know, it's just a very weird, odd, unique look. Which of course means my number one pick is the moon cactus because it's just it's to me it's just the most bizarre, but it's also the most realistic looking of the bunch, I guess, with maybe the exception of the aloe plant and a few of the. Well, I don't know. All of these really look. Yeah, I think they look more realistic than the tiny plants, to be honest with you, in most respects. But I don't know. I just feel like this is my favorite one. It's the largest, I think, of all of these, and it just so it grabs your attention, or it grabs my attention a lot more. But yeah, that's my favorite one of all the succulents. And that's it, my review for the Lego Botanical Set succulents. So which one was your favorite? Which one was your least favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've stuck with me this far, I appreciate you so much for watching. And until the next video, see you later.